Hey everyone, welcome back to the It's a Mind Game podcast. My name is Jade, and today I'm so excited to have the beautiful Carla on here with me, who is from Wales, is 32 years old, a dog mum, army wife, and works in the National Health Service. Now, all HA journeys are special, but I feel like this one is a little bit closer to my heart because we've been working together for quite some time, and it's just the coolest journey. Carla, welcome.
Hey, it's so nice to be on the podcast.
Yes,
I always thought if I ever got my period back, would I ever be able to come on a podcast? And I'm here.
And I'm so happy to have you in here. And it's really cool having quite a few women who've been listening for a while now. Then be like, all right, it's me, it's my turn. I've got my period. And
Yes.
let's jump into the juicy part. Do you want to maybe share with us first what your training was like when everything was really intense, and also a little bit about your nutrition at the time, and then we'll kind of filter through to where you are now, sweet lady.
Yeah. So from a very young age, from probably the age of 16, I played football growing up all my life. So it was kind of in my blood to sort of train and be committed to keeping fit and healthy. But I played football up until the age of about 22, where I kind of lost a bit of weight from overtraining and then just turned to running. So I could do it in my own time alongside university. I didn't have enough time to do my university work training, football training for the country, and football training for my club all at the same time whilst in uni. So I sort of stopped playing football and then just turned to running. I could do it in my own time. And I think as the years went on, I started running as a hobby. Then I started doing races, so got a bit more competitive. And then I thought, oh, how can I get a bit quicker? So I thought, oh, if I lose some weight, I'll be a bit quicker. And then it kind of just snowballed, and I lost weight and I got fast. And I thought, if I lose more weight, then I'll get quicker. So I did lose quite a lot of weight at one point. And then obviously started restricting food, cutting out the carbs. And it probably got, the worst point was probably started about 4 years ago, when I was in the gym every morning. I'd get up at 6 o'clock when it was dark, go to the gym, do a 2-hour cardio session. I would literally run for about 10 miles for about an hour and 15 minutes. Usually about a 10-mile run every morning on the treadmill, putting my music on, thinking I used to love it, but I don't think I actually loved it now I look back. Then I go on the cross trainer. So I'd have a good 2-hour cardio session in the morning, then go to work and hardly have any breakfast, thinking it was normal. I was being healthy by going to the gym in the morning, training fasted, being skinny and thin. I thought that was healthy. And then I would say when lockdown happened, the first lockdown, I bought a spin bike. So I thought, oh my God, I can't not exercise. I'm obsessed with exercise. I have to exercise. I bought a spin bike, and then every morning, again, I would get up at 6 because it was normal for me to do that. That was my routine. It was just normal for me to get up at 6. I'd do a 45-minute spin class on Peloton, and then I'd go for a 10K run after it. And I think I did that probably 5-6 days a week for a good year, because I thought, well, that's my exercise. I'd go to work. Again, I'd have the smallest breakfast. I used to have an egg on a piece of toast for breakfast and then not eat till lunch. Then I'd have a chicken salad, no carbs. I'd probably have a little snack at 3, hardly anything. And then I'd have my tea in the night. And now I realize it's quite a common thing to keep all your calories for the night. And then I used to eat loads in the night and then just feel a bit sick because I've overeaten in the night to compensate for the day. So yeah, that's how I would say about 4 years ago is when it all started, when I left uni and everybody was in this sort of fitness mentality. And I was running races as well. It didn't help. So I wanted to be fit and healthy and skinny and cut the carbs to be faster in my races. So yeah, I would say a normal day at that time would probably be a 6 a.m. gym session for 2 hours, cardio, get showered. I was rushing all the time. I'd rush to work, get to work, log on with brain fog, and then have the smallest breakfast would be an egg with a piece of toast. Then lunchtime about 1 o'clock, I'd have a chicken salad or a tuna salad. That's just no bread or anything. And then with I used to drink loads of coffee. Used to fill me up. So I used to drink loads of coffee, and I was wondering why I was drinking loads of coffee, but now I know why. It was just because it was sort of filling me up. And then sometimes have a little biscuit about 4 o'clock sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd be going home and having quite a large normal sized evening meal, but I'd probably feel a bit sick most nights because I was overeating and my body's kind of like couldn't handle all the food at once. And that went on like every day for about 3 or 4 years probably.
Yeah.
But I was
And
on the pill the entire time, so I don't know when I had actually got HA, but could have
yeah,
been any
so
time.
you were saying earlier that you'd been on the pill since you were 18, and then you
Yeah.
finished uni at 22, and that's sort of when all of your training got quite intense. But I guess at the same token, back when you were a little bit younger too, you were playing professional sport. You weren't doing sort of like leisurely soccer. You're actually a national competitor. So your training routine would have been quite intense even as a teenager. So one might say even back then, the added information on how to nourish your body would have been quite helpful. But of course, all these things are starting to come into popularity now that women have gone through all these years without a period and eating disorders and things like that. So but it's interesting to look at it. You were quite fit anyway, like with the amount of training that you would have been doing as a teenager. So when you sort of wanted to just keep fit, but do it in your own time, there was somewhat of a standard that you already needed to maintain to sort of keep the body that you wanted to keep from playing soccer, which would have, like, I can easily see how you quickly jumped into, say, 2 hours of cardio, because how long were your sessions for soccer?
They were about hour and a half, 2 hours. So yeah, it was just like I was trying to keep it up, I guess.
Yeah,
Keep up my
absolutely.
fitness, but through running instead rather than training. I actually remember when I played football that I didn't have any food issues. I didn't care. I'd come home from football at 10 o'clock in the night and my dad would make me 2 pieces of cheese and onion on toast, and I just eat it without a care in the world. And I kind of like, now I'm like, kind of, I would probably say I am recovered from HA now. I don't have like any issues with food anymore. I feel like I'm back like I was before I went through that little HA and restricted food like sort of period for a couple of years.
Yeah, and do you feel like life seems a lot easier since overcoming sort of all the rules and strict timelines and when to get things done? Like, how's your life changed in that respect, from having so much to do on so little fuel to where you are now?
So like it's so much better. I have like more sleep, and then I'll get up and just roll downstairs and enjoy a nice breakfast in front of the TV with my dogs. And it's just a nice relaxing start to the day. I don't care about like exercising. If I want to go for a walk, I'll go for a walk. And if I don't, then it's just like, yeah, whatever. I won't go for a walk. I can have like random takeaways with my husband. He fancied a pizza last night. I'd eaten like probably most of my food for the day, but I thought, why not? It's one day ain't gonna hurt. A bit more food. So we had it. So it's a lot more relaxed and chilled, and I haven't got like, it feels like I haven't got 100 tabs open in my brain on the internet. I've only got like maybe 2 open. So yeah, I'm a lot more chilled, and like I've gained weight, but I actually like the weight. I feel more like a woman now. I've got boobs and I feel happier. Like I haven't got no, oh, I can't have this because I've had that, or I've had this. If I've had this, I can't eat that sort of thing. I'll just go with the flow now. I think I don't see healthy as being thin anymore. I see healthy as being happy and
Functioning.
just being functioning properly.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because even your motivation to lose weight as well, it wasn't physique focused. It's like, obviously you already had somewhat of a physique from the training that you'd been doing, but then it really come from a competitive nature, which was getting faster. And when you were competing at the time, was it pretty common knowledge that the lighter you are, the faster you run? Like, where did all of that start to sink in?
I think it was just in my own brain, to be honest. I just thought, well, if I lose some weight, I am gonna carry so much with me when I run.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought, oh, maybe I watched like races on TV and thought, God, they're skinny. Maybe that's why they're so successful, because they're skinny.
No, because like I don't know a whole lot about running, but I have heard a few times that they definitely have some control over their weight to aid performance. But then it's that fine line of how much weight do you lose before your hormones get affected, and then that affects your performance. And it's sort of like finding that balance. And there is quite a few protocols out there now for women to drop weight but keep their performance up and keep their period. But again, it's all newer stuff that's all starting to come to the surface. Like at that point in time, I think whether you're a bodybuilder, into recreational fitness, a runner, a soccer player, a pole dancer even, it was very much just the smaller you are, the better you are.
Yeah.
There was no actual depth into that thought. It was just small is better. And it's crazy how once you open your mind up to, well, maybe that's not true, let's question it, how much your life changes. Like how you said you've got, 100 tabs less than what you did previously. Like how much more enjoyable is life just because of that you can actually sit and relax and be calm and be present in the moment and make decisions based on what you actually want to do, rather than just like racing around nonstop, not knowing that you have a choice.
Yeah, I've noticed like even just I did a lot of meditation and mindfulness in HA recovery. So I've become a lot more grateful from doing that, and it's made me more relaxed as a person.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely a lot more chilled out than I used to be.
Yeah. And I guess one thing I was excited to sort of bring to the forefront for our episode today was that you are definitely one woman who has taken on the mindset changes in her stride. Like we had a couple of conversations, pointed out a few different things, and you just went, oh my goodness, that makes so much sense to me. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And it was amazing to watch how empowered you were with the decision changes. Oh, sorry, the decision to make changes. Like it wasn't sort of like, oh, I'm not sure. And it could have been that for the past year. But by the time we actually connected, it was very much like, okay, this is what I'm struggling with right now. We had a chat about it, come to a conclusion, and then you were just like, boom, that's the new plan. And I think one of the biggest breakthroughs that we had was when we started talking about HA and like your soccer career, and we kind of made the link that having HA is like having a broken ankle or a broken foot. If you're still playing soccer or you're still racing and you broke a bone in your foot or your ankle, it's a hardcore no for 6 weeks. Like you're not training. You might be researching plays, you might be researching nutrition or still things to do with the sport, but you're not actively doing what you need to do in order to compete. And as we had that conversation, I remember your face being like, oh my gosh, like that's exactly what it is. I just need to take some time off. And then at the time you were still doing maybe an hour sessions. You were doing a couple of bodyweight sessions and light weights. And I think by the end of that call, you were like, look, I might just reduce it down to 3 30-minute sessions. And we said, all right, that's your HA protocol. We're going to do 3 30-minute sessions and we'll reassess in a couple of weeks. And then I think it was 3 days later, you're like, I don't know why I'm training on an injury. Like this has got to stop. And then you just went all in and embraced it. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about what that shift was like for you?
Yeah, so I think it was about a year before I even joined the HA program and started chatting with yourself. I knew what all in was, I knew what HA was, and I knew what I had to do, but I just couldn't get my head around taking that leap of faith, I guess, and being brave and saying, yes, I'm going to do it. I was fearful of weight gain. I was fearful of what people would say about my weight gain. I think that was my only fear, was I'm going to get fat and what are people going to think about me, sort of thing. And then it went on for about a year. But the point then I met yourself and Claudia, joined the program, and then I was only doing, I think it was an hour, like 3 times a week, with weights in the kitchen. And then after we spoke about training and telling me, okay, think of it like if you've broke your leg, you have to rest, otherwise you're not going to get better. And I don't know what it was, but I think because you related it in a way, it was sports related and like football related, it just clicked for me. I think I just was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to get my period back unless I just follow the protocol. So after we spoke, I think I must have done about 3 sessions where I was going for about 45 minutes. And then I was just like, the more sessions I did, the more my brain was like, why are you doing this? You shouldn't be doing this. It was like an angel on one shoulder saying, do it. And the other one was like, Carla, you really shouldn't be doing this. You're not going to get your period back. You're just going to delay it. And then in the end, I was just like, I went down to like 20 minutes 3 days a week, and then I was just, it's just pointless doing this now. It's just no point, and it's not doing anything for me anymore. So it must have been about a week after we spoke. I was just like, that's it, I'm going to go all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was repeating my whys as well. Like, why am I doing this? Why do I want my period back?
Well,
And there
that's
was so
right.
many
And it's like,
whys.
and it's just that importance of making the connection of, like, if I've got a new goal, it's why am I doing my old routine to achieve a new
Exactly,
goal?
yeah.
It's like we need a new routine, a new protocol to achieve this new goal. And yeah, I remember having that conversation with you, and I could see the expression on your face that was like, oh, like, of course, that just makes sense. But obviously you weren't quite ready to go all in within that week. But as you said, then the next sessions that followed, you were having that conversation with, like, I guess your disordered self and the
Yeah.
person that you wanted to be, which was, well, no, you've got to exercise, you've got to move, you can't not do it. And then you had this other side of you going, but this isn't going to help you. Like, if you want to achieve your period faster, like, as you said, you're delaying it. Like, you've got to slow down, lady. Did you find that those conversations were quite loud in your head, and that once you made the decision to stop training, they kind of got washed out quite easily? Or did you feel like you had some of those back and forth conversations for a little while?
Well, for the year previously, then yeah. It went on for about a year. I knew that I should have just went all in and like carried on training. But after we spoke, it was the voice telling me to stop training was louder than me telling me to train. It was like, you really shouldn't be doing this. You really shouldn't be doing this. You want to get your period back. Why don't you get your period back? Repeating your whys. And then it was just, even when I was doing it, my heart wasn't in it. And that, I knew then straight away, I thought, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to just stop exercising. And I can honestly say a year ago, I was probably addicted to exercise. 2 years ago, I was in a deep, like obsessive addicted to exercise. I always thought, I one day if I'll ever be able to like not exercise, and it's just like feels like a dream now that I haven't like exercised, but I go for a walk, and that's all I do at the moment, and I'm happy doing that. I can't, if someone said to me go for a run, I'm like, nah, it's all right, I'll just stay in the warm.
Well, that was something interesting you said too, and you've mentioned it earlier on the episode, but then, talks we've had in the group calls where you actually started to witness that you didn't enjoy running as much as you thought you did. It was just the habit of, I've got to run each day, because as soon as you stopped running, you were like, oh, I don't even miss it. And
Yeah,
that's not everyone experiences that. Some women stop their training and go, oh my gosh, every single day I miss it. But in your circumstance, you were like, why was I even doing that? Like, I'm so happy to not be doing it. And you even had, I think there was a race day as well soon in with you going all in, and you went and watched other people race. And that seemed
that was
quite a positive experience for you. And that easily could have been quite difficult. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about what that was like?
Yeah, so 2019 I won the local marathon, which is in Newport in Wales, and it was probably when it was right in the middle of my all in. And one of my friends, like from London, she said, oh, I'm coming to Newport to run the marathon. I ran with her for Britain a few years ago in this competition, but yeah, she said, I'm coming to run Newport, will you come and meet me, because I haven't seen her for a few years. And I was like, yeah, I'll come down. And I actually watched her with my husband watched the race, the marathon. We went for pancakes before, actually, because I was like, oh my god, I need pancakes, because I was trying to like break all food rules and just eat what I want. I went to have pancakes, so we went for pancakes, and then we watched her run. She came third. It did feel really strange not running. I was just like, oh, this is weird, but I was so focused and committed I knew what I had to do to get my period back. I was just not moved by it at all. I was like, I know what I need to do. I need to stick with it. I've trained probably hardcore for about 10 years, maybe over 10 years of my life. It's what I can give my body at least a year or two off. I kept thinking, I just thought, I've been hammering my body for 10 years. You deserve at least 2 years rest. Just chill. And then, yeah, it was nice. She came third, and we had a good catch up. And yeah, it didn't move me at all, actually. It didn't bother me.
Yeah, and I guess that's where it's so important for women to realize that it's that laser focus that's so important. It's like the focus that you had to maintain the training and diet routines that you had. It's a lot of effort. And if you can rechannel that energy into your HA recovery and literally redirect it, it does become sort of like one lane. It's like, oh, this is the goal now. I don't need to worry about dieting. I don't need to worry about training all the time, because I'm focusing on getting my period back, and I'm going to do everything that I need to get it back. And whenever I've spoken to you, that's what happened. You just switched lanes, and that was your focus. It's like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. This is my goal. I know what I want. It's happening. And it was amazing just to be a part of your journey on that level, because once you did switch lanes, you were just like, boom, I'm going for it. How long were you all in before your period returned?
It was 32 days. I was thinking, right, if I don't get it back by in about 4 months, then maybe I'll consider like fertility or something, fertility specialist or something. 32 days, I was fully like, you told me the HA protocol. I bought the book, No Period, No What. I listed everything down that I needed to do to get it back. And there's about 10 bullet points that I did. And I made sure I did that every single day for 32 days. And then it came, I was just like, it's the best day of my life.
It was such a quick turnaround. Hey, 32 days. It was like, wow. But the thing is, it's so important for women to realize, like, it took you a time to get to the point where you went, all right, this is exactly what I'm going to do. Because I think that can be a misconception sometimes. It's like, oh, you just wake up one morning and it's easy. But if you had all these behaviors for years and years, sometimes there is that 6 to 12 months where you are in and out. And if you can jump straight into HA recovery all in, amazing. But if you feel like it's too hard, like, it's not a reason to give up. Keep reading about it, keep researching about it, keep listening to podcasts, keep immersing yourself in it until you get to a point like you did where you went, okay, maybe I'm ready to do this now.
It took a year, I would say, just under a year, 11 months. I knew what it was. I knew I had to do. I just couldn't do it. I kept reading about it, like listen to podcasts every day. I was reading about it. I thought, right, this is definitely what I got. I got it. This is me. I've had testing the fertility specialist. They told me what I've got. I just couldn't get my head around. I was fearful of weight gain. I just couldn't get my head in it. And then it wasn't until I committed to the program and spoke to yourself. I think after you spoke, explained to me about training and, realized I had to change what I was doing. I had a new program, to get my period. Then it just clicked. I think I wouldn't have never done it without the support from you and Claudia as well. It was just wouldn't have happened, I think.
That was the perfect timing. And we did say, like, the HA protocol, didn't we? It was like, okay, well, to be an incredible runner, we need to follow XYZ steps. To be an incredible soccer player, we've got to follow XYZ steps. And then to get our HA recovery completed, we've got to do XYZ steps. And I think that was a big language shift for you as well. When we said, like, this is the protocol, like, this is the plan, here's what we're going to do. Off the cuff, do you know what some of your dot points were on that list of 10?
So it was eat within 30 minutes of waking up. So even if I wasn't even hungry, I was like downstairs, food, and it needed to be a big, decent breakfast. Nothing like I used to have, like an egg and toast. It used to have to be a big bowl of oats with all the toppings, protein in it. And I still eat it every morning because I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I make sure I eat every 2 to 3 hours to make sure your sugar level doesn't drop because it causes stress. Even if I wasn't even hungry, I was eating every 3 hours. Like, I'd have my breakfast, and at 11 o'clock I'd be like, right, okay, what's next? I gotta have a snack of some sort. And I was and another thing was, like, I'd eat the same thing all the time before. I'd have a chicken salad for dinner, I'd have eggs on toast for breakfast. It was the same food over and over. And I've been told to vary your food. So making sure every single day I'd have something different. If it was a different protein bar, then still a protein bar was a different one. Or if I wanted a wrap, I'd have a different wrap. And one of the big things for me was including a lot of healthy fats. I think I ate avocado nearly every day, and like flax seeds in my porridge. My diet went from like 0 fat to like 99% of it being a healthy fat.
And how did you feel when you made that change? Did you notice a feeling within yourself when you started having the fats, that you felt a little bit more alert, or that you felt like you had a greater capacity to have fun, focus, anything like that? Or did you feel a little bit groggy at the start and then you started to feel better?
I'd probably say it was just a bit full. Like every day I was just eating so much food. I was just like, I just don't want to eat any more food. But I knew in order to get my period back, I needed to eat the food. So I was never hungry for the entire 32 days. I didn't go hungry once. I was probably full. And then in the night after my main meal, I'd have to have another snack. I wasn't hungry at all. I was stuffed. But I knew I had to follow the protocol to get my period back. So I had to eat that snack. Um, I was sleeping more as well. I was trying to get more sleep, resting, moving less. So I probably cut my steps down from like 17,000 a day to under 12.
Oh, well,
I
and that
did
was a
use a
big
watch.
step for you, wasn't it? Because you were using your watch to track your steps. And that was another
Yeah.
big thing. You got rid of the watch.
Well, I did get rid of the watch, but I put it back on because I think I was doing, because I was in the same habit every day of doing like 17,000 steps. I was still doing that amount of steps even with it off. So I had to put my watch on to make sure I was going, and to like sort of monitor how many I was doing to make sure I was hitting less. So it took me about a week to figure out where all these steps coming from. It took me, and I figured out a lot of them was in work, and I was going for like morning walk. So it took me a week, and I thought, right, if I cut this out, this out, and this out, I'm going to go down to like under 12 a day. So I do wear it every day to make sure I don't go above. Well, sometimes I might.
No,
But
I love that you bring that up, because I do believe when it comes to exercises, fit watches, calorie counting, like it's not the actual thing that causes eating disorders and HA, it's how we use them. And
yeah,
sometimes we just lose our path and we use it in a way that's detrimental to our health versus helpful. So that's a really good example about how you sort of rip the band-aid in regards to being comfortable without wearing the watch because you were so reliant, but then you sort of went, oh, hang on, in order to take a step forward, no pun intended, I kind of need the watch so that I can actually slow down a little bit. And I think that's how we can actually use things to our benefit. Like not everything has to be demonized during HA recovery where, exercise, fit watches, calorie counting, all those sorts of things. It's like if they're used with good intention, they can still actually help us continue to excel forward. So thank you for bringing that up, because I think it's really important.
I thought if I carry on doing the same thing every day like I did with the watch on, then I'm going to be doing the same steps. And I thought I have to start moving as much. I have to, conserve my energy. So I put it back on in the end to make sure I was doing under 12,000 a day, and then I still wear it now because I don't want to go over that, really, to be honest. There's no need to go over that. Unless there's a random day where I go for a hike or something, I don't know. But yeah, I still wear it now. The only other thing I was doing was a lot of meditation and yoga as a replacement for the exercise, which is a lot slower, and then also taking supplements as well. So they were all the things I've written down every day, and I had like them on my phone, on my wallpaper on my phone. I even had like keep going, like a sentence like, keep going, girl, why are you doing this? You want your period, you want a future, you want a family, and seeing that every day as well, like kept reminding me every time I went on my phone, it was reminding me, why are you doing this? Keep going, keep going. Those days where I was just so full, it was hard. I didn't feel sick sometimes, but Jesus, like, I'm so glad I did it now. It's the best thing. Just keep powering through. It was obviously what I needed. I had no hunger signals at all, which was really hard because I thought, well, if I'm not hungry, then I don't need this. But clearly I just lost all hunger signals from obviously the eating patterns I had before. So I kept going. I'm glad I kept sticking to it.
Oh yeah, a couple of things you brought up too. It's like when you were running a lot and doing heaps of cardio, and you said you barely had any breakfast, you're living off coffee, that much cardio reduces our hunger signals because our body's so stressed out. So you'd sit there and have your egg on toast, and at that point in time you probably felt okay, like that was enough. And then you'd have your cup of coffee, which would pep you up again, and you'd go, well, I don't need food because I feel pepped up. And I guess in hindsight, do you feel like now that you know what it's like to be fueled, like you've actually got a full stomach, you've had rest, you know what your body feels like to be comfortable, do you look back now and feel like you were running on adrenaline the whole time, but you kind of thought you were just this fit, excited girl, and it turns out that, oh my goodness, no, I was literally all adrenaline?
Yeah, I was probably like a meerkat, wired completely every day, all day.
Yeah.
I was literally 100 miles an hour. Even my work, I was, my boss at the time was like, you work so fast. I was just rushing. I'd get up, rush the gym, rush in the shower, rush to work, rush my work. Everything was just a mad rush, to be honest. And I was just constantly like, I couldn't sit down. Like, even my husband used to say to me, oh, every weekend you want to do something, you want to go somewhere and go shopping, or you can't just sit down. And now I can just seem to sit. I'm happy just to sit in the house and just watch TV with the dogs and just chill. So yeah, definitely, like, and you're right with the food. When I was used to go running, it does take you off your appetite, I think, if you exercise, which is mad because it's when you need to eat the most.
Yeah,
So yeah, definitely
absolutely.
running off adrenaline.
Yeah, because if you think about all the calorie expenditure, and I know there's so many variations to calories and whatnot, but as a whole, if we were to look at your watch after doing a 2-hour run, the calorie burn would have been insane, like so much. And then to think that you've had a basic egg on toast, a cup of coffee, a salad with no carbs, no rice, no nothing, and then a decent sized dinner, it's like even all those meals together would barely cover what you needed for just the run, let alone the day that followed afterwards.
I did actually wear my same watch to the gym at the time, and I used to burn about 2,000 active calories a day, like combined calories about 2,000, and I was probably eating about 1,005 a day, less than that probably. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's crazy.
incredible,
And I
isn't
knew, I
it?
was to look at it and think I've eaten like 500 calories less than my watch telling me, and that's probably not even accurate.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, and the watches aren't that accurate. But when you used to look down and think that and see that you were 500 less, did you used to feel good about it? Or was there some
Yeah,
part of you that went, I should probably eat more?
yeah. I'd be like, oh yes, I'm under my calories, I'm gonna
Nailed
lose
it.
weight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I used to be the
I
same when I was training all the time as well. It was like if I was, because obviously I always wanted to be under, like, let's not pretend. But if there was a dramatic, like, let's say I got busy at work and I missed my lunch or I missed my dinner, and no, let's say dinner as an example, and I was close to going to bed anyway, it's like, oh, I'll just go to bed because then I'm an extra 300 under. And
yeah,
there was never that, like, oh, maybe you'll sleep better if you've got a full stomach. Like, you suffer from insomnia. Why do you think you can't sleep? Because you're hungry. But yeah, I would just be like, oh, an opportunity to be even less. Let's take it.
yeah.
Knowing what you know now and how to fuel your body adequately, if you were to slingshot yourself forward into you're back to running because you want to do a marathon again, right? But you've got the knowledge of fueling and everything. If you were to look at your watch and see 2,000 calories and you were to know that you were 500 under, what do you think would go through your mind?
Oh my God, I'd be like, eat, girl, you need to eat. You're running on empty, like literally. If I ever trained again, I would be completely different. I probably wouldn't even train that often.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like I would say I'm a little bit fearful of training again because I feel so healthy now. I
Mm.
probably would be a bit like, oh, I don't want to lose my period
Yeah.
again.
And that's a
Um,
very common emotion around it, especially because you work so hard to get it back that
yeah, I
it's
would
like
be
it
like,
feels very precious.
yeah. I don't know. I think if I ever did train again, I would be, making sure I have breakfast and a snack before I do anything
Mm-hmm.
to make sure I got enough fuel in me. And then I'd be making sure I'm eating straight away after.
Yeah.
And probably eating even more than I would do now because now I'm eating loads and I'm not doing anything really. I'm just walking. So if my
Mm-hmm.
body needs this amount just walking, then what does it need if I'm going for a run?
Yeah.
Like,
And it's mind blowing too once you start to connect those dots. I look back and think about how there was, oh gosh, I was maybe on 1,000 calories a day or something like that. And I would be training 2 to 3 hours a day, mixed methods, like some HIIT, some strength training. But then I would be a personal trainer all day. So I was always using energy to lift up weights and spot clients and all that sort of thing. And I look back now and think, like, what in the world were you thinking that 1,200 was a good idea or 1,000 was a good idea or intermittent fasting so you only had 2 meals was a good idea? And at that point in time, you really think you're making good decisions. And I
yeah,
just want to make that clear to anyone who's listening who is like is aware they've got HA, but they're not ready to make any changes. They're probably going, but I'm healthy. I eat salads, I go for runs, I do my strength training. That it's very common to think that you're doing everything right. And it's just like, oh, it's a crappy period. But it's not until you start to make the changes and allow yourself to learn what you need to that you start to go, oh, wow, like I needed to eat more. I needed to rest more. And what I thought felt good actually isn't good at all. Like, do you feel when you go to bed of a night, as an example, that you actually feel relaxed, that your body feels in a good condition versus going to bed and perhaps being achy and like tingling? And has anything like that changed?
I sleep so much better now, that I, like, before I wouldn't sleep very much. Well, I would, but it wouldn't be very quality. But now I go to sleep and I feel like I've been knocked out. I'd only wake up maybe once every other day for a wee in the night. Like, before, I was up 4 or 5 times a night on the toilet,
Really?
going to the loo.
That's so
But I
disruptive.
sleep, yeah.
Because I know that's a common symptom, but it's not like not everybody recognizes it. But yeah, to get up and go to the bathroom 4 or 5 times, my goodness.
Yeah, and then my sleep wouldn't be very good because I was waking up all the time.
Mm.
But yeah, I go to bed like almost, well, I would say immediately, not full, but nicely full every night. Feel quite settled and happy, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Did you notice that your coffee consumption dropped as you started eating real food? I mean,
Yeah,
real food as in like, obviously you're always eating real food, but as in you started to eat to suit the HA protocol. So you weren't going to coffee for energy. You were like, oh no, it's been 2-3 hours. I'm due to have a snack. Did your coffee consumption kind of drop off by itself, or did you intentionally drop it? What happened with that?
so I was drinking, like, before I joined the program, I was having like 5 or 6 cups a day with like 2 sugars in each. Like, that's a lot of empty calories, I would say. Just like pure sugar is probably not very good for you. It's not very nutritious. But I managed to turn to sweeteners and these toffee drops you can get offline, like sweeten your drink. There's sweet like sweeteners. So I was drinking about 5 or 6 cups a day when I first did the HA, before I started the protocol. And then when I went all in, eating the 2,500 a day, I was just so full I couldn't stomach that much coffee. I think I went to like 5 cups a day. Then it was four for a while because of just like the habit of drinking it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then, yeah, like sometimes I was just like, oh, I just can't stomach it. It's just so, because I was actually eating nutritious food, my body just didn't want it because it would just bloat me and make me feel really bloated and uncomfortable. So I was probably down to about 3 cups towards the end. So I just didn't fancy it. I don't drink it at all anymore. Just drink water. Just crazy.
Yeah, but that's where like our brains and our bodies are so clever though, aren't they? It's like you started eating more and more, and then naturally you're like, oh, like I just don't need it. It wasn't even necessarily I don't want it. It's just I don't need this right now. And I'm not sure, Carla. I think I spoke to you about this. I'm not sure. But sometimes even just witnessing what it is about the coffee that we enjoy, like, is it literally the pick me up? Do you really need food? Or is it just the idea that if you sit down with a cup of coffee, you've got 5 minutes to just sit by yourself? For the most part, no one will talk to you if you're at work, or like you've got your little bubble for 5 minutes. And then you can go, okay, well, am I actually craving the coffee, or am I just craving 5 minutes to myself? And then so many people start to go, oh, hold on, I'm craving the environment that comes with the coffee. And just by witnessing that, a lot of people drop their coffee reduction. And it happens with people that are smokers, that you can even say like food addicts on the other side of the fence, like they're always eating. And that's why, because when they're eating, everybody leaves them alone. Like there's little things that kick in. Did I have that chat with you?
You did, yeah. You brought my awareness to why I was drinking coffee, and it was because literally I just wanted my little 5 minutes in front of the TV, my little chill time. Yeah, it just made me more aware that that's the only reason I was drinking coffee. I can have that chill time with a cup, glass of water or something else. So yeah, it was really interesting. You did make me brought my awareness to my thoughts so much more, especially with the crazy monkey idea that you mentioned.
Yes.
And becoming more aware of, like, I remember, like, it was after I got my period back, I had a protein bar, and I hadn't had the protein bar before, and I went to look at the back of it, and I was like, whoa, what are you doing? You don't need to be looking at the calories in this, just eat it.
Yeah.
And I just ate it. And you made me aware of that's a disordered behavior or disordered thoughts, you know. It made me aware, okay, stop. It's not what you need to be doing. Like, and becoming aware of what's disordered and what's not definitely helped as well.
Well, it gives you your power back. Hey, it's like if you can witness where the disorder's kicking in, then you have the opportunity to go, oh, no, I'm not doing that today. Or you can still say yes, but at least you can witness how often it's happening. Because like some things you can change fairly quickly and some things take time. So as that example that you used, in that moment, you were able to go, whoa, no, we're not doing that today. That's a solid no. I'm just going to eat the bar, move on. But let's say you're in a different position. It could have just been like, oh my gosh, this is the 5th bar. Like, this is the 5th label I've looked at today. Tomorrow, I'm making a deal with myself. I'm only looking at 4. And then you can still move forward. And so no matter what stage you're at, having that awareness is always going to help you shift forward, whether it be just an absolute no, not doing this, or, okay, how can I be a little bit better tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. It helped me so much. I'm just trying to think of other examples of when I became aware. I think, I can't remember what happened one day, but I had a really bad image day, but it was something else. I was stressed out about something else. I think I'd had an argument with my husband or something. I don't know if I can remember speaking to you about it, but I had a really bad day. And
I think
then
that
in the night,
might have gone away.
yeah,
Was that the
goes away
group
quite a lot.
call?
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to remember, but I think it wasn't. Only had a bad body image day. Only, it wasn't because I had a bad body image day. It was because like other stresses are going on in my life that brought that on. If that makes sense. I think if you're ever having like a bad day with HA, I think you need to look at, well, why suddenly today am I having this bad day? What's brought this on? It's not just, you know, there's other reasons usually what's causing it to happen. I don't know if I explained that very well, but
No, you did perfectly. So like it literally is, it's so easy for us to blame our body for something rather than fix whatever's actually upsetting us. So it could be you've had an argument with your partner, you've had an argument with a colleague at work, maybe plans got cancelled and you're just disappointed. Like it could be anything, but for the most part, it's somewhat of a negative emotion. And rather than actually face the person, face the event, face the occasion and go, okay, I'm unhappy because of this, let's talk about it. Or, okay, because of this stressful situation, I need to make changes. Like I need to change something so that I feel okay. We just look in the mirror and go, oh, you're disgusting. Because it's easier. And for the moments that we're sitting there looking in the mirror, hating ourselves or pinching our fat or looking at our arms or doing all those sorts of things that we do, we're not thinking about the real problem, which is all the things I just listed before. And if, as you said, it's like, if you can go, well, yesterday was a pretty good day, today's crap. Like my body hasn't changed that much in 24 hours. And if you can sort of bring, again, your awareness to that fact and go, well, I haven't actually changed that much in 24 hours. What's actually wrong? What is the problem? You'll always notice there's emotional connection to the bad body image days. It's hardly ever your actual body. Our bodies, man, they cop it. What did you find most difficult about going all in?
The fear of the unknown, I'd say. You just assume you're going to like get roles and you're going to get massive. I just had this vision in my head of just going to get really big, and what's people going to think? Like, I'm a runner. Everyone sees me as a runner. Everybody still says to me now, "You mean for a run?" I'm like, "I've been for a run for like a year." But I think people just assume that, like they just give you like that sort of, I can't think what the word is, but yeah, I was
that's your
just like
label. That's who
fearful
they
of,
see you as. Yeah.
yeah. I was just fearful of like gaining weight and what people would think of me. That was probably my main work, like oh my god sort of thing. And then yeah, that was probably my main issue. Yeah, but then after writing down my whys, I kind of kept repeating those and they kind of started to overrule those fears, and yeah, just taking that leap but not knowing how long it was going to take me. Like I was just assuming it was going to take about 4 or 5 months easy of all that food. I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get huge. Like, but I don't know, I just thought, well, my time's running out now. I just need to do this, because otherwise if I just don't do it now, I've been a year in limbo, like half given, dipping my toes into recovery. If I don't commit now, then it's just never going to happen.
Yeah, and sometimes it is that ripping the band-aid, isn't it? It's like enough's enough, you've just got to do it.
Yeah.
But I like how you know, with the timeline side of things, I think, because we're all afraid of weight gain and sort of that elephant syndrome. We always think we're going to look like an elephant and that everyone's going to see us as one, and they're going to think we've lost respect for ourselves and our discipline and all these sorts of things. And for the most part, everything that we tell ourselves in that mindset is wrong. Like, it's incorrect. People don't think that way of us. But how you sort of said to yourself, all right, you've got 6 months of this, or sorry, I think you said 4 or 5 months of this, because the evidence suggests that if you do go all in, for the most part, women are recovered at 6 months, right? Obviously, some can be 32 days like yourself, others can take the full 6 months, but there's not a lot to suggest that if someone's all in, it would take longer than 6 months. And it's actually quite a strategic method to just anticipate 6, right? It's going to take 6 months.
Yeah.
It's going to take 6 months. I'm just going to put in the effort for 6 months, just as you would if you had a race day, a bodybuilding competition, anything at all. It's like, here's a plan, 6 months. And of course, if your period comes earlier, fantastic. Like, no worries. But at least if it takes the full 6 months, you're not disappointed in the progress either. Because it's like, no, I know it's going to take a while. I know it's going to take a while. It's going to be 6 months. Did you find that sort of expecting a long process kind of helped you power through? Because it's like, one more day, let's go.
Yeah. I think every day I kind of had my 10 things in front of me that, the things I mentioned earlier about eating every 3 hours, eating this certain types of food, eating my supplements, reducing my steps. Every day I was like, right, I'm going to hit these tasks every day. I didn't think of like the long term. I thought, right, focus on these tasks every day. Right, have I eaten my three hours a day? Yes. Have I eaten my healthy fats today? Yes. Have I eaten my supplements today? Yes. Have I done my under 12k steps a day? I've done. I just made sure that every single day I hit those I tick my boxes. And I thought, if I keep doing this every day, it's going to be consistent. My body's going to feel safe because it's having the same, same routine every day. It's going to have a decent amount of food every day. And it worked, I guess taking every day one day at a time, just focusing on daily goals. I think they all built up, and I think a lot of it is to do with consistency as well.
Yeah, no, but as you said, that tick side of things too is so powerful, because rather than getting the ticks from training and eating as little as possible and running around like a chook with no head, it's like, no, I feel good about doing these 10 things. So every single day you weren't going to bed going like, oh, I didn't run, I ate too much. You're going to bed going, oh, I did under my 12,000 steps. I ate breakfast within half an hour. I had snacks. So you're sitting there overnight going, oh, I did such a good job.
Yeah.
Which is where the strength comes from to keep going. So you doing that every single day is so powerful. And I highly encourage anybody else to do it, because it's a wonderful way to just be like, I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, definitely. Combined in with my whys. Why am I doing this? Every single day I wrote down my whys, and on my phone I had them in front of me every time on my phone. Like, come on, girl, keep going. You can do this. You're capable. Like, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to get it back. I don't care if it takes me 6 months. It's going to come back. Like, I am going to do this. I seen all these people on Instagram and Facebook getting their periods back. I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. And I was like, I'm going to do this. Every day I was like, come on, another day, get your box ticked, keep your steps down, you've eaten this, done that, right, next day, do it again. I was like, it's going to come soon, it's going to happen. But I honestly didn't think it was going to be that quick, to be honest. But so I was very happy. Over the moon. I would probably say I've gained more. I've definitely gained more.
Tears, dancing.
I've probably gained more weight after my first period. I was like, oh my God, okay, I've got my period back, but I don't want to lose it now. I want to put a little bit on just in case, or a little bit more on, you never know. So I've put probably, I don't even know, I don't weigh anymore. I think that was a big thing for me, was getting rid of the scales as well. That was massive. I was addicted to the scales. I don't even know how much I weigh anymore. My husband does, but knowing my body, I've probably gained an extra 2 or 3 pounds probably since my first period. So I want to make sure my body is safe, not just safe.
Well, no, and that's right. It's like, just because you get that first period doesn't mean it's over yet. Like, you really do need to honor the process for a good 3 periods. And then you can start to go, all right, can I start to eat a little bit more intuitively? Can I start to add in some movement if I want to? Because obviously you never have to, and kind of readdress everything. But you are absolutely doing the best thing by just doing exactly what you're doing and not changing a thing, because obviously it's working. Your body's happy, it's healthy, it's safe, it's enjoying the process. So, like, literally, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Just keep doing everything as is. Those other periods will come, and then you just keep reassessing, and it's like, okay, well, what's optimal for me now? And then that's a whole new journey in itself.
Yeah, I think it was really hard after I got my period. I was like, right, you know what you need to do, Carla? You need to keep doing exactly the same. It's obviously work, so just keep doing it, and it'll be fine. And I kept doing it, and everything was fine. So yeah, that was really important to keep just exactly what I was doing before. I didn't change a thing. I think secretly deep down I was thinking, oh, I'd love to not eat this amount of food anymore, but I was not. I was like,
But
totally
it's
need
such a
to get.
short-term thing, though. It's like, the discomfort and bloating and things like that you've got for a couple of months, it's not going to be there forever. Like, your body's going to calm down. You're going to get regular cycles. Like, literally everything's going to be okay. And how you said earlier with the racing, like, you've smashed your body for 10 years. I'm allowed to take a year or 2 off, or as long as I want off. And it's the same thing with the food. It's like, oh, I've dieted for so long, I'm allowed to just chill out for 6-12 months. Like, it's okay. And then again, you've always got the power to choose. You can move on to do whatever you want. But it sounds like your HA recovery journey thus far has been a very helpful, beneficial, empowering, positive experience for you.
Definitely, yeah. I can now have kids, hopefully. I can be more chill, I can be more social, I can just go for random takeaways. Yeah, my whole mindset has changed around food. I don't really care anymore. I don't see food as bad or good anymore, really. I try to eat nutritiously, like I'll try and eat my salmon, but I'll still have my pizzas and my burgers. I just try and keep it balanced, really. But yeah, I would definitely say I'm just like over it now. Like, it's like old school now. It's crazy to think at one point how restricted, rigid food, all these food rules I had. And again, when I wrote them down, you're not aware of them until you write them down. I was like, bloody hell, I got all these 10 food rules. I didn't even realize I had them. I was like, this is crazy. I need to stop this. So that helps big time in my recovery. But I would probably say I don't have any of them anymore, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess we'll wrap things up soon, because I know it's quite late where you are right now. But when you're living the life of the food rules and all the training, it feels impossible to live differently. But now that you're living differently, do you almost feel like it would be impossible to live the way that you did? Like, if I was to say to you tomorrow, Carla, back to the old diet, 2 hours of cardio, let's go, girl, would you be like, piss off? Or would you be like, oh, absolutely, let's go?
I would never ever go back to how I used to be. Even if I did start training again, I'd probably only do it like at a sensible amount. Like, I'd go maybe like 3 times a week for like 20 minutes. That's like enough. That's all you need. Like, before, I'd be like, what's 20 minutes? That's nothing. I can do that with my eyes closed. And it used to baffle me why people used to run 5K. I'd be like, what's the point running 5K? It's like, it's not even worth running that. But now I'm like, actually, yeah, that's actually a normal run. Like, that's all you need to be fit, is, maybe a walk or a couple of walks. And I would never train ever in a million years train like I used to train. It's just insane. I'd never ever go back to anything like that. I just wish I could see that before, but it's always easy to say that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I find it so incredible, because pretty much every woman that I speak to who's gone through HA and eating disorder recovery, it's like, it's very much that in the core of it, it feels like you could never live any other way, because it's like, this is my life. This is what I do. This is how I do it. And then you finally get to see what life's like on the other side. And you think the exact same thing about the way you used to. It's like, oh, I could never go back to that. And I don't want to. Like, I'm happy here. I like doing what I'm doing. And as you beautifully said, it's like, if you did want to go back to exercise, your idea of what's reasonable is so different.
Yeah. big time. Yeah, it's just mad. You just opened your eyes, doesn't it, to what actually healthy is not being skinny and thin and not eating anything, which is what is kind of like advertised in the media and all that, and these fitness programs and all that, detoxes. It doesn't help with the media, but now I'm on the other side. I feel more empowered. I got more power now to make. I'm sort of like, I'm in control now, rather than the exercise controlling me. I'm the one controlling it now.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's
if I want
exactly
to
how
go,
it should be.
yeah, it's just a massive mindset change. I'm so glad I did it. It's like the best thing I ever done.
I just want to quickly tell a story and then we'll wrap things up, because I've loved speaking with you, but I'm also want you to get to bed because it's late. But just what you said about in the media and magazines, I watched a quick little interview with, what's her name? She's in Pitch Perfect, Reba.
Yeah, I know you're on about. I don't know her second name.
Yeah, she's an Aussie actress, but she was saying, so she was obviously a bigger woman. Like, the character of her in Pitch Perfect is Fat Amy. And but she's always been incredibly confident being a bigger body, never had any issues with it. And then she started going through fertility treatments. She's currently 41. And the doctor said to her, it would be beneficial for your fertility treatments if you get healthier. Didn't set a weight target, didn't do anything. But she sort of went, well, I really want to have a baby, so I'm going to get healthier. And when she was getting healthier, she started to notice that she was doing a lot of emotional eating. Like, she'd sit and eat a tub of ice cream overnight, and it was to distract herself from thinking things that had happened in the past. So it was a very transformative process for her. And as a result, she lost weight. And she was saying how, I think she won an Academy Award, or like a really prestigious award. And it's not often that women get those sorts of awards. And she won one. And she said, and no one knows about it. Like, unless you watch the award ceremony, you would not know a thing. And it's one of the best things she ever did in her life, was achieve that award. And she goes, but then I lose a couple of kilos and I am on every single magazine. She's like, I have got no idea what the fascination is with weight loss. She goes, people gain weight and lose weight all the time, and yet somehow that's all they want spilled on magazines. And I just found it so interesting, because it's like, yeah, she did something so incredible, like win an award. And I didn't even know about it. I definitely know about her weight loss. It was everywhere. It was on Instagram. It was on magazine covers. It was everything. And it's like, gosh, so many of our magazines, literally that's the cover. It's a weight loss journey, or it's demonizing someone who gained a little bit of weight. And oh goodness, our media, I think, needs to do a bit of a reform.
It does, definitely. I don't think it helps when people edit pictures as well and put them on the internet. It's not good, especially for younger people.
Well, yeah, if you think back to sort of our generation when we were teenagers, at most you'd maybe buy a fitness magazine, right? And it would be one edition a month. So you'd have 50 pages to look at for the month, but that was it. Where now, and that was enough to sometimes trigger other things. But now with magazines, which probably no one buys anymore, but Instagram, where it's like 1,000 photos every minute. Oh,
it doesn't help. I think Instagram isn't very good. If you can use it, I suppose, in a good way, and you could, again, like fitness watches, you can use it in a bad way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I unfollowed everyone, like, fitness wise, when I was in the HA recovery. That helped. Another thing I did was unfollow anyone that was promoting like weight loss or fitness
absolutely,
program.
because it feels like a tease, doesn't it? Because it's like you're honoring your process, but some part of you wants to do the challenge or the shred or the clean eating challenge, and deleting those accounts. It's like, it's not serving me right now.
The only one thing I did find hard in HA, which I thought was going to be a problem, but obviously it wasn't, was I was become obsessive with recovery. Like, every day I'd wake up, I'd go on my phone, it was HA this, HA that, what's so-and-so doing to get their period back, or HA group. Like, it was just HA was just all I thought about constantly for probably a year. And then when I committed to all in, it was everywhere, every day. And I was, at one point, I was just a bit like, I just need to get away from, I was just obsessed with it. Like, it was just everywhere. So all I thought about, like, when's my next snack? What am I having today? Let's plan my snacks for work. Let's prep my meal. What am I going to take for lunch? It was just constantly like, what am I eating? I was thinking, this is probably not really good for me. but I don't know whether that's because I'm just so committed.
Well, it can go
I
two
don't know.
ways, because it's like you're consciously making decisions every day to honor HA recovery. So the decision is attached to that goal. So it's
Yeah,
like you choosing to eat a wrap instead of a salad for lunch is because of HA. So it's like HA bing. And then
yeah,
all of a sudden you're full, but you've got to eat. And it's like, oh, but I don't want to eat, I'm full. But you've got HA recovery bing. So it comes up all the time. So it definitely makes sense that it will pop up literally all throughout the day, because you're consciously making decisions motivated by that. But I definitely think HA recovery groups and Facebook pages and all that are incredibly helpful and powerful. But definitely, as with any kind of form of social media, it needs to be moderated. Because if you're
yeah,
sitting there
definitely.
scrolling, reading everybody's HA recovery journey, it doesn't necessarily help you with yours. It could make you feel bad
Yeah,
about it. It could make you feel like it's not working for you. It could make you feel hopeful. It could go any kind of direction.
yeah,
But at the same token, if you're sitting there scrolling for an hour, for any topic, I just feel like there's probably something better you could be doing, even if that better is reading No Period Now What, or like an actual book. But
yeah,
definitely being mindful of social media presence is so important. So, so
yeah.
important.
It did help me get it back. Like I
Yes.
watched a girl on there, how she got hers back within 3 months, and I just thought, if she's done it, she can do it, I can do it. So in
Yeah.
a way it did help, but then in another way I was just like, oh, it's everywhere, I need to just have a break from HA recovery. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
you have to monitor it.
Yeah. And I think that's because I know I definitely had the obsessive times where it was like nonstop reading, scrolling, reading, all that sort of thing. And then I'd have a couple of weeks at a time. And this was obviously in that quasi recovery phase. Um, and then it was sort of like, oh gosh, I just need to not look for a week. I'm still going to apply the food and the resting and things like that, but I just need to not be scrolling or reading HA stories or posts, or I just need a break. So if anyone listening who feels like they just need a rest, just like anything else, if you need rest, you should rest.
Yeah.
Now,
Definitely.
you are sharing your journey on Instagram. Do you want to share with our listeners what your Instagram handle is? Because if anyone wants to reach out and have a chat with you, they can jump online and have a chat.
Yeah, it is HA recovery journey. Yeah, that's it on Instagram. I
Yeah, so
think
I'll
there's
pop that in the show notes. And then if anyone wants to reach out and have a chat with you about it, because I'm sure there'll be quite a few questions that are popping up. But thank you so much for coming on and sharing your incredible journey. And we are obviously going to stay up to date in regards to all that entails for future periods and how you progress to the next stages, because we've had the first one and then it's sort of what happens next. But thank you so much for coming on, sharing your journey and your experiences, and I guess what really helped you most throughout your HA recovery journey.
I would say the support from yourself and Claudia as well. He was constantly there if I had a query. Like I remember the one query was like, do I eat what I want, or do I eat what I think I should eat? I remember that was one of the first queries. I was like, I know I should be eating like avocado, but I actually want a bowl of cereal. And I remember you just said to me, like, just eat what you want. There are no rules anymore. And I think the support of you was phenomenal, along with the whys. I kept repeating my whys all the time. And then the HA protocol, like knowing exactly what I have to do to get it back, and like understanding your mindset, like, and how to become aware of like your disordered thoughts as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a combination of things that like helped. Yeah, it's like so many things. I could list them all down, including like the things I mentioned earlier. But yeah, definitely my whys, the community, and the support that you got, like all the time. I felt like it was always someone to talk to. Like I can't really, none of my friends, I couldn't tell my friend, but I did tell my friends, but they just don't understand, because it's just, they got a period, they're just like, yeah, it's just a period. Like,
No, but that is, it's what it's like. They're like, yeah, it shows up every month, and it's like, yeah, for you.
yeah, and they're like, oh, I can't believe I'm on this month. I'm like, the one point I was just like, you're like, you don't even realize how lucky you are.
Yeah, no, it's hard. They're hard conversations sometimes, and then they turn around and go, oh, well, you're lucky you don't get it, and it's like, oh, not really. I'm really trying to get it.
Yeah, definitely the support, my whys, understanding my food rules, and then the mindset and understanding like what a disordered thought is, was definitely probably the main things. And yeah, of how I got it back, I would say.
Well, Claudia and I have absolutely loved being with you all along this journey, and we're so excited about everything that is yet to come. And I will link your Instagram in the show notes. And again, thank you so much for coming on and sharing so many like knowledge points on how to get through HA recovery and how to really take it in your stride rather than just have this force of resistance with every single decision. I'm sure all of our listeners are going to have enjoyed the last hour of us together.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been like amazing. I remember thinking if I ever get it back, I'd love to be on a podcast, and here I am, I guess. So yeah, thank you so much. It's been fab.
You've smashed it. No, you're absolutely amazing. It's so good. I'm so happy for you, Carla.